what we should do is make sure your eWON is powered down, and we want to use a Cat5e or Cat6 Ethernet cable to connect your PC to one of the 4 LAN ports on the eWON. And we want another Cat5 or Cat6 Ethernet cable plugged into your internet router or your internet connection port that you may have that leads to your router, going to the WAN port, W-A-N, WAN port on the eWON. So we have 2 cables there. Once these are connected, let's power up the eWON. Okay, so far we've created our account for Talk2M, and we've received our activation key. Now what we need to do is connect to the eWON and apply our activation key. But before we do that, the standard default IP address for the LAN port on the eWON device is 10.0.0.53, right? This is the default IP address. It's this 10.0.0.53. Now, what we want to do is change our computer's IP address settings to be on the same subnet or IP address network as the eWON. So if you're using Windows 7 like I am, you could just click on the little start orb. You click start, right click on network and go to properties. Click on change adapter settings, and then on local area network we will right click and click properties, and then double click on IPv4 here. This is your TCP IPv4. Double click that, and we want to change our IP address settings so that again we can match with the eWON. We're going to use 10.0.0. Let's say 100 for example. And if you click in here, we're going to use the subnet of 255.255.0, and then we'll go ahead and hit or click OK, and then we'll click OK here, and that's our IP address changes that we've just made to match this. Now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and connect to the eWON via our internet browser. So what we will do is open up an internet browser. We're going to type in the IP address 10.0.0.53, enter, and the standard or default username and password for the eWON is ADM. Again, for the password, ADM. Click OK. Now that we're logged into the web console, what we want to do is test our internet connection and add the activation key to our eWON device. So from this point, we want to click on Configuration, and we're going to use the wizard. So over here, top right corner, click on Wizards and Configure Internet Connection. This is the first step. Click this button here, and we're going to choose Ethernet WAN connection, because again, coming out of our WAN port, we have a Cat6 cable or Cat5e cable going to our company router or internet router, or it could be going to a port on your Ethernet switch, which eventually is going to give you your internet access. So we want to make sure that this is checked, and initialize configuration first. Okay, that's okay. We want that checked too, and we'll click next. And because we powered down our eWON and we connected our Ethernet cables and we powered it back up, it just sort of refreshed our IP address DHCP so that we can receive a DHCP IP address from the internet router. So, and this is what it is for now. And so we can leave DNS checked because we are getting our DHCP or DNS settings from the internet router. We'll hit next, click next, and click test online address and click next. And right now our eWON is establishing an internet connection, and we will proceed to the next step. Here we are, we have success, and we will click done. And now the next thing we're going to do is click on configure talk to M connectivity. Right here, click on this button, and this wizard will guide you through the talk to M configuration. Then we will click next and register with activation key. This right here is what we want to do. So when we click this, the activation key that we received earlier, which is this, we will copy that and we will paste it there. We will click next, and we will then click next again. We are now activating our eWON device with the activation key associated to the account we created earlier. So thus far we've tested the internet connection. We are on DHCP with our WAN port on the eWON. We've added the activation key to our Talk to M account. What's left now is to revert our laptop or PC's IP address settings so that we can connect to the internet, and we will use eCatcher to now configure and connect to our eWON device. So we can go ahead and close out of this window. We will go ahead and we'll go to main menu. You can also go to log off, which is fine. That's actually the right way to do it. And then we'll close the browser. And again, we will go to adapter settings, right click, go to properties, and we'll just put our laptop back into DHCP mode. Okay, so that we